What's up, Capricorn? With your April love general reading. This is for my lovely Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. This is a general love reading and may not resonate with every Capricorn out there. So let's go ahead and see what the most important messages are for Capricorn in regards to love for the month of April. Okay, what's really clear to me right away with all of this energy, you had really great energy come out. You're the type of person that can find your way out of almost any problem or any conflict or confusion. So you're always the one that can think of the creative solution. You can come up with something that's outside of the box, the unexpected solution, the outside of the box solution. You might not see this about yourself because for many of you, you've been through some challenges in your life. So at times it might be difficult for you to see that one way or another you've always made it through. But it's like if you really tap into that and kind of think about the things that have gone on in your life and how far you've come, then you start to see, even though these situations looked hopeless to me, I always was able to figure a way out of it. You might even have given other people the credit for that at times, like thinking that someone came to your rescue or that someone else presented like a beautiful solution to you, or that circumstances just miraculously opened up that allowed you to move through these things gracefully or to come out the other side. But when you really look at it, and if you're willing to give yourself the credit that you deserve, you'll see that this is really, it has more to do with your creativity. It has more to do with your ability to really find your way through anything. Almost like lighting a really dark path. That's kind of the energy that is coming through. It just seems to me like you've always survived and you've always persevered, and that's not by chance. There's nothing about this, and there's nothing about your journey so far that has been by chance, and it's not luck unless you consider being blessed and being gifted in this area of open-mindedness and creativity. If you consider that lucky, then yes, you were lucky to be blessed in this way, but it's not that circumstances are just happening to you or for you, or you just barely made it through. This is actually a gift that you're bringing to the table. I think that's kind of comforting, because when we figure out that we're the ones behind some of these things, we have a lot more confidence moving into the future. Like once you see that you were actually a huge part of the success of any situation, or figuring out how to get out of kind of a sticky or tricky spot in your life, you realize that you're taking those skills and you're taking that talent with you forward into every challenge that you face. So it's not just something that happened for you by chance or by luck in the past. This is actually something that you can really lean on and you can count on, you can depend on, because it is you. It's a part of you. I think that you've been able to kind of face these challenges that life throws your way by being creative, but also by being really strong. And so for you, I think this is kind of a hidden gift, because it's something that I just am picking up on. Like, you don't give yourself enough credit for this. So in that way, it is kind of hidden from you. Others see this about you, but it's something that you rarely look at and give yourself credit for. I think that what it is with you is that you're kind of always on to the next thing, because you're so capable and you have so much to do in this life, that once you've accomplished something, a lot of times you don't take the time to sit back and notice what you've just done and what you've just come through. So this is why, like, this gift is almost hidden from you. And I think this is kind of showing up because your guides want you to take the time to reflect a little bit and to realize. So I think for some of you, you may have just come from a challenging time. Like, you may just be moving past a really difficult time in your life, or moving through a lot of challenges, or something that really kind of posed I don't want to say a problem because I think it's something that you moved through, but I guess challenge is the best word for it. Something that was difficult for you to do, but you have come through it. So if you're finding yourself right at the end of a certain stage of your life or right at that point of completion and you're about to jump into the next thing, your guides really want to point your attention towards this and kind of encourage you to, while you're in the moment, look back right now and notice. Maybe in some cases, even celebrate what you've been able to accomplish, celebrate how far you've come, give yourself the credit that you deserve for getting through something or for moving past something, because this is being highlighted in such a way that I do think that for some of you, this might be something that is very relevant to you right now. So this is a pattern for you. You tend to ignore it. But you might be in a stage where you're at the perfect opportunity to look back at something that's not so far in the past and really take notice of that. So yeah, you're being guided to look at that. I almost want to say with this gift that you have that it's like it's this is going to sound really weird, but it's almost like you can handle the bumps in the road, but what I want to say is more that you can like hurdle over the bumps in the road. So it's not that your life is without challenges, but you have a way of absolutely excelling even in challenging times. And it's not just that you barely get by, you don't just scrape by, you don't just almost make it. You really excel. You really kind of, it's like you get air, if that makes any sense. You jump way over. So this is really being highlighted as a gift and something that like you don't even see how how clear you were of the obstacle, if that makes any sense. Like you were so far above it, your creativity and your outside of the box thinking made you soar right over that obstacle in ways that you don't even always notice. So you're someone who holds really strong to the vision that you've had and like the vision of who you want to become and what you want to have and what you want to experience in this life. So a lot of people, I think, can be swayed by other people's opinions or influenced by outside forces in some way, but you're someone who definitely checks in with self. You self-reflect enough to make sure that you are still on your path. And I think that being true to yourself is very important to you, but you're also someone who actually has the courage to cling to that vision and to adjust when necessary. That's not something that everyone has. So I think a lot of what's coming through for you is like, I'm just getting the feeling this might be true for just a lot of people in general. I'm definitely getting this feeling for you is that your natural giftings, talents, and abilities are something that you often think are very basic, very mundane, something you think like anyone could do this, everyone does this. And I feel like right now, looking at your cards, it's kind of my job to point out to you that no, that's not the case. Not everyone can do this. Not everyone views the world the way that you do. Not everyone has so much vision for their life and for those around them. And not everyone can actually maintain that vision through the challenges that come up in life. A lot of people would just give up. You are definitely the type of person who can sense when something is off. I think you're really good at sensing this in your own life, but it also seems like you're gifted in being able to tell when something is off with someone around you. It's like you can pick up on the energy around you, and like if something's a little funky, you'll definitely know about it. And I think this comes from practice with your self-reflection, but you can really extend that to other people. So I think you're like the person who's sometimes asking people like, what's wrong? Or is everything all right? And then once they're prompted by you in this way, they'll end up like unloading a bunch of stuff on you. They'll end up telling you what's bothering them, what's been on their mind. And you're really like a great sounding board for people. And I think it's not even just that you're great at listening and giving great feedback, and there's a really nurturing energy from you. So it's more like you're holding space for people, but it's not even just that. It's more like you almost open up the platform for them to express in the first place, because I think a lot of times people aren't even aware of what's going on with them. They're not even in touch enough to like to tap into it, to know that they want to get something off their chest or that they want to share things with people. They might not even realize that their energy is off, that something is not quite right. And you will kind of bring this to people's attention and actually give them a space, give them a platform to feel like they're being heard. So this is a huge gift, because anytime you can tap into someone's energy better than they can, you know you have something special. And that's what's coming so naturally to you, is to be able to pick up on that energy really without any prompting, without any clues. Like, you can just walk into the room and immediately know like something's wrong, something's off. Maybe there was some sort of conflict or a disagreement, and you just kind of feel it in the air. And that is not something that I feel like I have to keep reminding you. That's not something that everyone can do. A lot of people cannot read the room, even on the most basic level. They come in and they will act inappropriately. They will say all the wrong things at the wrong times. They just won't get it. And your ability to pick up on things is definitely heightened, and it's above just like a basic being able to read the room. But like, just to kind of give you an example of that person that is on the total opposite end of the spectrum, like just saying and doing all the wrong things, there's kind of a middle ground. And I think that's where most people fall, like being able to, kind of sense what's right and wrong in the situation. And you're definitely on that opposite end of the spectrum. You can pick up on even the slightest details and the slightest shifts of energy. So that is definitely one of your gifts. With this Eight of Wands that you were drawn to initially, I did want to leave this card out just in case there was some tie-in. I feel like this card, in combination with this Temperance in reverse, I'm getting this sort of feeling of like almost impatience, or things being sped up for you in some way. So this really could mean that you're able to manifest things really quickly, especially with this being an 8. An 8 is kind of like a number of manifestation, a number of infinite possibilities and infinite outcomes. I think that things flow to you more easily than the average person. It's almost like you have the ability to really clear the way for things to flow into your life. And that doesn't really surprise me, because you seem to be very sensitive to energy. So I think that you might not only be able to sense energies, but also be able to manipulate them in some way. And I really believe for you, this is something that flies under the radar. I don't think that you realize that you're able to do this, but it's not just that you sense the energy, you can actually change the energy. So if you feel that something is off in your life, something is off internally with you, and also if something's off with those around you, you will actually be able to have an effect on those energies. I think maybe without realizing it, you're very talented at transmuting energy. There's this calm and peaceful quality that's coming through for you, very nurturing energy. And I think it's almost like you return the energy around you to that very calm and nurturing place. And there really is a message here about some sort of ability to manifest, or some kind of impatience in a way, but I don't even mean that in a bad way. It's just the only word that I can think of to kind of describe this, because it's not just the fact that things are sped up for you, or that you have the ability to speed it up. It's almost like you're not the type of person that can really sit in. That's what it is. You're not someone who can sit in uncomfortable energy. So when you sense that something's off, you're very eager to change it, and you can do it very effortlessly. if you've ever been the type of person that's frustrated with manifesting or frustrated with the ability to change something, like you feel like you can't, you feel like it's slow, you feel like you don't have any effect on it, I think this is another opportunity for me to point out you need to look at areas of your life where you have done this and give yourself more credit, because I think the reason that you might feel impatient at times about not being able to make changes in your life is because you have an innate ability to change the things around you. So anytime that's even the slightest bit challenging to you, you find it frustrating and you can become impatient. But the reason that you're impatient is because you actually have the ability to do this in the first place, and some people don't. Um, I want to kind of relate that to something else because it's maybe a bit confusing, but it's almost like if you have the ability to fly and most people don't, and you kind of innately know that you have the ability to fly, and when you first start to try to fly, or maybe it's a windy day, so like flying conditions aren't the best, but you have a little bit of difficulty like getting it all together. You have a little bit of difficulty getting any air. That's funny. That image of you getting air is coming up repeatedly in this reading. You might be an air sign. Um, yeah, that's the second time that I've kind of had that image. But you might become frustrated with your inability to take flight. You might feel like, hey, why can I not fly? Like, I know that I can, but I'm having so much trouble flying right now. And so you become frustrated, whereas someone else wouldn't become frustrated with the inability to fly because they've never known or believed that they had that ability in the first place. So I think that for some of you, when I'm telling you that you are really gifted when it comes to manifestation and that you have the ability to transmute energy the way that you do, it might strike you as like, no, I don't, or like, I've tried, believe me, I've tried, and it never works. I think it does work. I think you only notice it when it doesn't. When you're doing it all the time so naturally, and you never notice it or give yourself credit for that. But when you hit a little bump, you might be hard on yourself. And trust me, that's only because you are so good at this. If you weren't able to do it, you wouldn't even be frustrated by this at all because you have no ability to do it. You know, the thought never even crossed your mind. But I think when manifestations don't come to you very easily or effortlessly, or when you aren't able to transmute energy as quickly as you thought you might be able to, you can get a little bit impatient about it. And that is just a sign that you are actually naturally gifted in that area. It causes frustration because you know full well that you should be able to do it. And you find yourself feeling like you can't sometimes. But again, look at the areas where you have. Um, I think there's really a message of self-reflection coming through for you because you are so gifted. And I think that this gift extends to those around you. Like, you're really good at holding space and really good at kind of giving people this nurturing energy and connecting with people on this deep level. With this Two of Chalices here, I can see like you form deep connections with people. You see people on a soul level. And you're also somebody who is very nice and comforting to be around because you do have this ability to transmute energy in a way that always kind of puts things back at a base level of comfort. Yeah, you make those around you feel very comfortable and very at home. Very well taken care of, I think is what I'm looking for there. You make everyone feel very well taken care of. And for those around you, this is them being surrounded by positive energy and you always making sure that everyone has what they need. So yeah, you definitely have some giftings when it comes to energetic, like sensing. You have the ability to sense energies, but it's not just that. It does not stop there. You also have the ability to transmute energy, and you are such a pure soul that the way that you move energy is always toward something uplifting, something positive, something nurturing, something understanding and caring. And I think when you can't find that space of nurture and of caring, this kind of like, it's your baseline to just be in this very loving place. When you find it challenging to get there, that's where the impatience comes in, because you know your true nature. You're also very gifted when it comes to knowing your true nature, and whenever you find yourself outside of that energy, it's very uncomfortable for you. So I have your oracle cards here. Let's take a look at these and see what else we can get kind of with a baseline of some of these spiritual gifts and abilities that have come through. And again, for you, I do think a lot of this is hidden from you. I think that people around you notice these things and they know this about you. I think it's you that doesn't notice it as much because you just don't give yourself enough credit. So let's see. We had number 8. This is indecision, and it actually came out in reverse. So here we are again with the number 8. We were talking about that with this 8 of Wands. 8 is a number of manifestation. This again is pointing my attention towards this ability that you have to really manifest powerfully, and you're manifesting all the time. A lot of times people think that manifestation is something that like you have to sit down and focus and do. And sure, sometimes we do manifest that way, but for you, you're actually manifesting all the time. This way that you transmute energy is a form of manifestation, and you're doing it so naturally and so effortlessly all the time that you don't notice it. So you're really gifted when it comes to holding firm and making choices that are in alignment with your higher good. This card showing up in reverse really shows me that. And I love that because I don't even know if I was going to read these in reverse, but I can't not in this case, because you are someone who is shown to be very decisive. You decide kind of like what you want, what vision you have for your life, what energy is going to resonate with you, and you hold firm to it. Like we were talking about before, a lot of people are influenced by outside forces, outside circumstances, and they aren't able to hold firm. But that's something that you can do. You kind of have your eye on the ball, and it's not going to be good enough. It's not going to be right unless it's right. And that's just kind of how you are. Again, that can kind of tie into that impatient energy, or that energy of things needing to move fast, because you kind of like, you know where you're going and you just want to get there sometimes. Yeah, I think even when things get tough, you're decisive, and you know where you stand, and you really hold firm to that. You also have Angel of Balance, and this is number 48. So another 8. This card talks about being centered and self-honoring in your choices. So I don't know how I could get any more perfect than that, because when we're talking about indecision and decision making and holding firm, this is all about choice. So this ties in perfectly with the other messages that have come through. This is really about your ability to bring a sense of balance to every situation that you're in. And this is also a sign of a very strong destiny. When this card shows up, it's about someone having a really strong destiny. It's a sign that you're here to do really big things, and that you've developed this balanced nature to kind of assist you in carrying out all that you've been put on this earth to do, because it's a lot. Yeah, it's a lot. So I think that you having this kind of balanced nature about yourself, this 2 of Chalices again kind of pointing to that, and this ability to form deep connections with people is going to assist you in everything that you're here to accomplish. Again, all of these 8s showing up. So yeah, infinite possibilities for you. Kind of infinite ability when it comes to manifestation for you. So I think that's what it is. That's why the possibilities are endless for you, because it's like you can create anything. Yeah, you can create anything, and you can kind of transmute energy in any way that it needs to be changed in any situation. So let's look at your last 2 oracle cards. We have Purity, and we have Focus, number 14. So I'm seeing 4s a lot too here for you. 40, 48, 14. Another number that makes me think of balance and stability. Also, 4s can talk a lot about like a really, like, I think of home life, like comforting, nurturing, balanced home life, really secure and stable. And again, when we're talking about that space that you hold for everyone around you, that's that kind of energy. It's the energy of fours. So yeah, I think that's showing up for you for a reason. Um, all I can really say here is something I've already said, because it's a repeated message, and this happens a lot in readings. And I love when it happens because it means that there was something that you were really meant to hear in this reading, and your guides just like won't stop. They start dancing on it and they won't get off of it. You have here purity of focus, basically. This is another clear indication that you are a really powerful manifester. You seem to have the ability to manifest close bonds and connections with those around you and to manifest material abundance. The reason that you're so gifted at this is because your focus is pure. Your focus is laser targeted. So once your mind is set on something, it's pretty much a done deal. And we've already seen that in your tarot cards. Yeah, like I don't know what else to say. It wasn't like we didn't get a brand new message with these oracle cards, especially not with the last two. But what we got was absolute confirmation that you are a problem solver. Like I started the reading, the first thing I saw about you is that you can find your way out of any problem. And now I see that you can manifest yourself out of any problem. You can manifest yourself out of any box. And that's really important for you to know. It's really important for you to kind of keep that in your back pocket, not the ability to do it necessarily because that's coming naturally to you, but the knowledge that you can do it. Keep that in your back pocket because that's going to help you when you do hit a bump in the road, because we all do, but your talent here is getting over the bump. It's getting out of the box. It's finding a workaround. Like you can find a workaround where others could not see anything. You will see the possibilities, infinite possibilities. So yes, I think that's all I have for you. Number one, really beautiful reading. I love the energy that came through for you. I love your energy. Yeah, you're a manifestation machine and I dig it. So yeah, thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for letting me read your cards today. I hope that something in this reading resonated for you. If it did, don't forget to like this video, leave me a comment down below and hit that subscribe button if you feel like it. And I will see you in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number two, if you picked this image, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out all about your hidden gifts and talents. So let's jump right into some tarot and see what messages come through for you. What are number two's hidden gifts and talents? We had a card fly out right away. We have Two of Coins. Number two's hidden gifts and talents. You have Judgment in reverse. What are number two's hidden gifts and talents? Oh, I think your card fell. Okay, he had the Ten of Swords come out in reverse. The Hierophant in reverse. So we've got a lot of reversals here. We'll talk about that. Let me get one more card for you. Then we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. Okay. Let's look at this. Right away, I can see that you are a person who has healed from so much. You've gone through so much in your life. So for those of you who are aware of your past lives, and you may have experienced maybe even some of the things that you feel like you have experienced before in a past life, you might have even encountered those in this life. But for those of you that are aware of the things that you have experienced even in past lives, some of this growth and healing may have been something that happened over several lifetimes. And it feels like in this lifetime, you're able to kind of reach a place where you are expressing all that you've learned. This ability to tap into some of the messages and lessons from past lives is kind of a a hidden gift or talent of yours. I feel like this is something more so that you might hide from other people. So if this is something that you resonate with, and this is something you've kind of like picked up on, you've tapped into, you've wondered about, but it also could be something that you don't feel that comfortable sharing with other people, or you're really hesitant, or you're really particular about who you would discuss those kind of thoughts with. That could be something that's kind of like hidden, but it looks like you do have the ability to kind of tap into this past life information. You may have even run across people in your life that you feel you've known for several lifetimes. If you do have somebody like that in your life that you haven't opened up to about this, it might be worth doing that, because this person might also be aware of this connection kind of spanning over several lifetimes. And if you feel alone in this, if you feel like this is a gift that can be kind of isolating, can make you feel a little bit strange, that you can't open up to other people about, they would be a great person to talk to. So it might be worth mentioning to them that you kind of feel like this connection is deeper than it might seem, or kind of goes further than is obvious, because that might be someone that you can connect with. So that's just for some of you. Some of you might be totally aware of this gift and totally in your power about it. You might feel perfectly fine expressing these things to people, but there is something, it seems like the veil is a little bit thin for you, where you're able to kind of access that information. You're able to access past life information, which comes with a lot of wisdom. It can also manifest in other psychic abilities in a way. So if that's something that resonates for you, then go ahead and take that, because for some of you that is coming through. It looks to me like you take a really balanced approach to things. With this Two of Coins here, you're really somebody who weighs things out, who is considerate. Like, you're someone who will take the time to consider all of the options. You're definitely coming through as an old soul. You're coming through as somebody who has seen it, done it, lived it, and who brings a lot of wisdom to the table. Now, as we were talking about like past lives before, for some of you that could be because you have access to information, knowledge, wisdom from past lives. So in your current form right now, you're kind of like a culmination of all that has taken place for your soul's journey, not just in this lifetime, but in several other lifetimes. And that's why you kind of present as an old soul, because, well, I guess that would be accurate. You do have access to a lot of information. I think that your intelligence and your wisdom is one of your strongest gifts, and something that that you're the most talented at. So if you're a person that like excelled in school, because this is about wisdom, and it's about book smarts and intelligence as well for you. And a lot of it is because it's like you've accumulated more knowledge than your years would let on, more knowledge than would be possible for most people in your position, most people your age, or with the amount of experience that you seem to have had. For some of you, I think that a lot of this experience did come from this lifetime, but for others, I think like people tell you all the time, like, how do you even know that? Like where did you get that from? Or like how would you have access to that information? You've never even been through something like that. But it's just like you're privy to a lot. And you're a thinker, and you are considerate about everything that you do, considerate about those around you, but also just you'll just consider a matter. You will just turn the facts over and over in your head, and really look at things from all angles. You're not the type of person that looks at things as either black or white. And that kind of goes back to this balanced approach. You kind of see both sides of an argument, so to speak. I think you're someone who people feel comfortable confiding in, because they know that you're not going to judge them. we had this Judgment card come out in reverse. And in this context, I really see you as someone who, because you have so much experience and so much wisdom, you're not someone who's quick to judge other people's choices or other people's feelings about anything, like in any circumstance, because you can kind of see yourself there. You can see yourself in that position. You can see what it would be like if you were in their shoes, or you've been in their shoes before. So there's no judgment with you. This makes you someone really easy to talk to. I think people know that you're always going to give them good advice, but it's not just that it's good advice, it's that it's honest advice too. And it's really coming from a place of love. This Knight of Swords energy it's really like you cut straight to the point, but never in a way that is meant to be hurtful to those around you. It's always meant for their higher good. It's always coming from a place of love and of wisdom. So you're not really limited when you look at things. And this is why people love getting advice from you. You're not so limited to like your own life experience, or to just the things that you can remember from like the past year or something. You're able to kind of draw on a lot of information, which really suggests to me a divine connection, a deeper connection to divinity than a lot of people have, because you're able to access all of this knowledge and kind of use that to provide guidance to those around you, and to be very straightforward about it, to give people clear answers, and to really, in general, create a lot of clarity for them. So you're gifted when it comes to knowing that all of the knowledge and all of the wisdom, the answers that you might be searching for, are within you. You have a really strong will and a really strong mind, and you're not afraid also to like break the rules, to go against tradition if you realize that those rules and those traditions are only holding you back. So we have the Hierophant here in reverse. So I think you moved past a lot, and in a lot of ways where you felt restricted in life, in the 3D, or mentally restricted, you've kind of broken through those barriers, or that's something that you are working toward doing. It's something that you're gifted in. You're not like I want to say a sheep, but that can seem so negative. But what I mean by that is like, you are not one that's just going to follow along and just like follow the crowd if it doesn't make sense for you. And that's also something that's like, it's really good about the advice that you provide for other people, because you can see through to who they really are and to like what's best for them. And you can provide guidance to people based on what would be best, what would be in their best interest, them specifically, them individually. So this comes back to this like being very considerate, being very thoughtful, weighing out all the options, seeing both sides of the situation. It really helps you to give great advice, not just to yourself, but to other people. I think that I think you're very talented at helping people realize when they're being held back. So, if there's like a rigid belief system in place for somebody, and there's limiting beliefs in place, you're really good at identifying those limiting beliefs and helping people see past them. This might be something that you have had to do for yourself, because I do see there's been a lot of growth here. There's been a lot of change just in your internal world. In the way that you view yourself, in the way that you have stopped, or you're working on stopping judging yourself so much and putting pain behind you. You're able to do that for other people now. You're able to show them areas where they are really selling themselves short, areas where they could open their mind up a little bit more, and really also pointing out their blind spots, pointing out things that they've missed altogether. You can see all of that, and other people, they can overlook it, or they can be so caught in their pain, or so caught in the details of their situation, that they can't see these things. You're very good at identifying these things and giving people straightforward advice to help them get through these issues in their life. So I see you as someone who's been able to really heal yourself on a deep level. I think it's kind of your gift to help other people do the same. So some of your challenges and some of the things that you've gone through, even some of the like authority that you've had to overturn, this is an image, like this is kind of a theme coming through in this reading a lot. So you might have had to step outside the box in some big way in your life, or this could be something that you're currently struggling with, or something you've already mentally accepted, but you haven't you haven't gone through all of the physical motions. But this really is about breaking ties with something, expanding your mind in a certain way, and healing a lot of internal turmoil that went on for you. And I think that this is actually a gift in disguise. So this is actually funny. This is coming through in this way because we're talking about hidden gifts, and so far that has taken on so many different meanings throughout your reading and group ones. But yet another way that this can be interpreted is that this is a gift in disguise. This is a blessing in disguise. So I think a lot of what you've been through in your life has been a gift that didn't necessarily seem like a gift at first, but you are reaching a point where you're able to see how this has benefited you, and not only that, but how you can then use it to benefit others. Definitely blessings in disguise left and right for you. So a lot of the challenges that you've been through, if you look back on them now, you may have already found yourself doing that. You look back and you think, you know, I thought that was pretty terrible at the time, but look at all that I learned because of it, or look at all that I accomplished when I was forced to go in this direction that I hadn't planned on going. So you really have the ability to really focus in on these things that aren't immediately apparent to other people. You might even be able to help other people realize that about the challenges that they've faced in their life, realize how it benefited them, how it molded them, how it shaped them. You're really good at that. I could see many of you going into like counseling or some sort of therapy or energy healing. Energy work would be great for you. Not that this is like a career reading, but it's like, I just see that this is coming. This is so natural for you. You probably see yourself playing this role like in your friend group or in your family, but it really is something that you could help a lot of people with, because just things that are not even at all apparent to other people are very obvious to you. And the way that you, this is another thing you're gifted at, the way that you will articulate these feelings that you have, or these areas where you pick up on more information than other people are able to see, you have the ability to articulate it in a way that people will understand and that they can actually do something with, something that like give them something they can sink their teeth into, rather than it being just kind of like airy fairy, like just like really hard for them to understand, or like they can conceptualize it but they can't put it into action. You can make it very actionable for people. You can really show them exactly what steps they need to take. For some of you, you may also provide some sort of healing through some kind of artistic expression. If that's the case, then it's likely that this form of expression is really healing to you. It's something that like you feel really nourishes you. You may have even come to this thing because of a difficult time in your life, and this was like your refuge, your one happy place. And it's like, this is something that's really cathartic for you. So this is a message for some of you, and it won't resonate with everybody, but you'll know what I mean, because it's like, it's something where almost like you feel like, I would have been lost if I hadn't found this thing, or if I hadn't poured myself into this thing. So it provides some benefit to you, and then it also provides a benefit to everyone who like engages in it, or whatever it is, whatever the art form is. Like anyone who reads the stories that you've written, they benefit from it. They receive healing from it. Or if they listen to the songs that you sing, or the songs that you've written, they benefit from it. So yeah, there's some kind of like reciprocal nature about this. There's something, what's funny about this is in In the traditional tarot, the Two of Pentacles would kind of be bound together, like with an infinity symbol. And that's kind of like, that image is coming to me in terms of how this healing goes. So it's almost like you healed yourself, and in doing that, you heal those around you, and that healing energy kind of comes back to you and it flows out from you. And it's just sort of this it's this flow, it's this ebb and flow, it's this give and take. So there's something about your energy that really provides a lot of this flow and this give and take to those all around you. And even if you're doing something that you have felt you're doing purely for your own good, for your own healing, or for your own sanity, it has an effect on those around you. There's a ripple effect, and it kind of then feeds back into you. It's a little hard to explain, but it's a lovely energy, and it just kind of flows naturally. You might not realize that all of this is happening through whatever it is that you're doing, because it does flow so naturally. You might not realize how beneficial it is to those around you. I think for some of you, with this gift that you have, it's that you really give others the permission to be who they are, and you lead by example with this. So you display some kind of courage that's really inspiring to other people. You help people kind of step out of their comfort zone. And in some way, you speak the truth. There's something about what you do that you speak the truth. And this could just be that you're a very honest, straightforward person, that you have a way, like we were talking about, of articulating things so that people can understand them, so that they can see the truth in them. It could be also through your art or through your writing, but there's something through your advice. I think you give really, really good advice too. I think that that's a huge thing. It's like your advice is going to ring true to people. This is why I think you would be really good at like some sort of counseling or like life coaching or something like that, because you just have a way of helping people see what is true for them. And it's beautiful. And I think it's somehow healing for you. I would love to know in the comments if you know what I'm talking about, because it's like I just have this sense, I have this this feeling of the energy that I'm describing. But yeah, it's like it's something that's healing for you, and it's also really healing for everybody around you. So it just works really beautiful together. But yeah, this wisdom that you have, this knowledge that you have, it just seems to shine through. Just in every case, in everything that you do, it's shining through. So you're speaking some level of truth, some universal truth in everything that you do and in every action that you take. And people can really pick up on that, and they like it because it resonates. They know it's true. Even if it's something that they aren't able to see and access themselves, as soon as you present it to them, they know it's true. So that's really beautiful. That's actually a very special gift. So let's look at your oracle cards and see what else we can pull from this. So we have number 43, man holding a coin. And we have 51, healer of the ages. I love that that came out for you. I love that, because we're kind of dancing around this this healing energy that you seem to display, and this kind of confirms that for me. There is something that you are doing. There's some gift. I feel like you might not know you're doing it, and that's because it is just such a natural gift for you. But yeah, you're healing in the process of this. You just have a way of exuding this really healing energy. So this man with a coin card talks about somebody who is helpful and someone who offers sage advice about the action that they need to take. And that's what we were already discussing. Yeah, I see you being some kind of advisor. I feel like I'm turning this reading into like a career or life path reading, and that's not the intention. It's just I'm getting so excited about this gift that you have, because if you haven't quite figured out how you can use it, I think it's just going to bring you so much joy when you figure out how you can heal yourself and heal others at the same time, or how the healing that you've done is going to be beneficial to so many people. This is really about offering guidance. That guidance can have to do with financial matters. With this being man holding a coin, it can have something to do with finances. So you might be particularly gifted or savvy when it comes to money matters. You might be really good at math. This totally doesn't have to be the case. I know that wouldn't be the case for me, so I wouldn't even want to hear that because like I'm not good at math. But for some of you, that is the case. So your advice and your guidance and your really straightforward way of being able to communicate ideas to people in a way that they'll understand. It could be that you bridge that gap for them when it comes to like areas that are typically difficult for people to understand. So like math is something that a lot of people struggle with or just don't think that they're great at. Maybe finances where people are confused about how to manage their finances, but you'll have a way of showing people how they can get over these hurdles or just kind of clear up the confusion about a lot of things. This totally doesn't have to do this totally doesn't have to I guess that's right. It doesn't have to do with finances, but it could for those of you that resonates with. This really too, because it is about it's Pentacles energy, really. This is Earth energy. So this also has to do with advice concerning health as well, not just financial matters. So this could be something, maybe this healing that you've done is very physical and you can help others to heal in that same way. You're particularly gifted when it comes to physical healing. But this is you. This man holding a coin is you. Whether you identify as a man or not is not important, but you're really gifted at weighing the pros and the cons of any situation and figuring out the best course of action. That's what's come through for you right from the beginning of this reading. It comes through super strong. You know the best path. You know the best course. And I feel like saying for some of you, if you doubt that about yourself, don't, because this is really showing up as a super strong, powerful, and very evident gift that you hold. So your guides probably want to draw your attention to that, especially if you're doubting something that comes so naturally to you and that you are so good at. They want you to realize that you are gifted when it comes to this. Then you had Healer of the Ages come out. This card talks about ancient wisdom and powerful healing. We've already talked about that. Like your gift is the gift of a healer. And I think that this will show up for many different ways for different people, but you are so gifted when it comes to healing yourself and healing others. And I love that it's kind of a card about ancient wisdom, because we were talking about the beginning of the reading something about past lives and having access to like past life information. So yeah, this is about accessing wisdom that has been around for a while, and it's like you have access to all of that, more than just what you've experienced in your lifetime. An old soul, like I was saying before, you just know things, even if you have no idea where you gained that knowledge from, you just know. And that is definitely a gift of yours. Let's look at your last two oracle cards. Okay, we have validation, and this is number 51 too. So 51 coming out twice. That number might be significant to some of you for some particular reason. It also reduces to a 6. So 6s are about stability. I think that healing really, I can relate healing to stability, because when we don't have that healing, whether that's in our physical body or some kind of mental or spiritual healing that needs to take place, we feel really out of balance. So this could be a sign that you are able to bring things into balance for people and for yourself. Let's look at your last card. We have the Moon, so number 24. Okay. I think that with this validation card, I feel like we've already touched on it. You really give people a voice, and you help people to feel heard, to feel acknowledged, and then also to feel guided. And with this Moon card coming out, the Moon really reminds us that there's always a light to be found. Like, you're someone who's really good at finding the silver lining in any situation. You find the lesson, you find the truth, like we were talking about. You can sort through all the mess and really get to the heart of the matter. And when you do this for others, you make them feel like they're heard. You make them feel like they're loved and supported. So Yeah, these are some really clear gifts. I love that it happened this way. I love that it's so clear. I think these readings are so far turning out like really clear. Like your guides want you to really know something. They want you to take something away from the reading and really start to give yourself credit and acknowledge certain areas where you're really gifted and where things flow naturally so that you can just kind of sink into that space. So I love that. I think that's all I see for you. I'm going to go ahead and leave the reading there. If you did like this reading, if it resonated for you, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below and let me know what part of this resonated for you because I would love to hear it. It's so interesting to find out what this healing process might be, what you've gone through, and what you're in the process of helping others move through. I would love to hear about that. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you really soon in another reading. Bye. Hi, number 3, if you picked this image, this is going to be your reading. We're going to look at some of your hidden gifts and talents. So let's go ahead and jump right into the tarot and see what messages come through for you. Cool. We've had cards flying out right away in all of the readings. I love it. So we had Fortitude come out. This is the Strength card in this deck. Oh. The Tower. The Emperor in reverse. There's a lot of strong energy coming out for you so far. Everything that's showed up is from the major arcana. So a lot of really strong and powerful energy. Okay, I just dropped your heart. And let me get the next card. Okay. We have the 7 of Coins. Ken will get one more. We have the Star. Whoa, okay. Okay. So much major arcana coming out for you. So much strong energy. Okay. You are, whoa, a force. You are someone who is always challenging the status quo. Right away. You are afraid to go against the grain. With this Star card here, I can see you are someone who was meant to shine. You were born to stand out. You were never going to be someone who could just fade into the background. I think that sometimes even if you wish you could, if you wish that you could just shrink back, if you sometimes find yourself wishing that you could be invisible, or at least less visible and less exposed to the world. It's like something always calls you into the spotlight, even if you don't intend to be there. Wow. You might have a very different way of looking at things than most people do. Or there's just certain times that you can't back down. Certain issues that you just feel so passionate about that you kind of you'll go out on a limb. You'll kind of put yourself out there when it comes to those particular issues. I think the amount of growth and transformation that you're capable of and that you've already demonstrated is unmatched by anyone around you. Looking at these cards, I have to say, and this is not at all coming from a place of like thinking that you are like really arrogant or anything like that, because I do not get the idea that you are. So this is really just my interpretation of this. I feel like you might be a really big fish, and for some of you in a super small pond. I kind of feel like because you are so incredibly talented and gifted, even if you are in like a large pond, let's say, you really manage to stand out. So for some of you, this could be that you come from like a very small town, or you're just particularly gifted like within your own family. But really what's going on, even if you haven't had the opportunity yet in your life to see how you will fare in like a bigger scenario on a bigger stage, so to speak, I think that you will stand out no matter. I feel almost hesitant to say this because I think that some of you don't want to hear this because there is a part of you that likes to kind of shrink back and play small. And what's coming through is that you are not meant to play small. You were never intended to play small. You were always intended to be in the spotlight in some way. And I think this is something that you can feel about yourself. So in your case, I think that the reason that your gifts and talents are hidden is because you have a tendency to play small sometimes. And there might be certain people who know that you are gifted in certain ways and that encourage you to step out there and to share your gifts. And it might be that you kind of keep a lot to yourself. I'm kind of like imagining somebody who, let's say they have a very beautiful voice and can sing very well, but they will only sing when they are alone in their room, or they will only sing when no one else is at home. And if anyone were to catch them singing, they would be very shy and very embarrassed. I'm kind of getting that sort of energy. It doesn't have to be about singing at all, but it's just you're really great at a lot of things. And sometimes it's like you just don't want to be in the spotlight in that way. So this is just one kind of one aspect of the reading, but really all this strong energy coming out for you, all of this major arcana energy, it just tells me that whatever it is that that you're particularly gifted at, you are extremely gifted. You would be a standout in any situation. It's not just like, well, at my school where like there's only this many students, sure, I seem great, but if I were to go to a bigger school, I wouldn't be the best anymore. That's not the case. And that's just an example. It could be anything. It's like you really are, you are a standout. You are the best. You are gifted, kind of in any scenario you go into. For some of you, this is great news. This is what you want to hear. This is what you are working toward, and you already kind of know. And for others of you, I think there could still be a little bit of a timidness coming through for you, a little bit of not wanting all eyes on you as much as it seems like they might be. It's like if you start to actually display your gifts, all eyes will be on you, and you know that. I know you're going to move past this because of the cards I'm seeing. So the only reason I'm even reading it like this is because it's a general reading. And I also am having an intuitive feeling that there's a little bit of like a timid feeling and a little hesitance coming through for some of you. But I can see that this is something that you absolutely overcome if you haven't already, based on these cards here. So it's happening one way or another, but I think that if you do feel a little bit shy or timid about this, you're going to move to a place where you're not feeling that way anymore. So it's not that you have to do all of this. You don't have to achieve. You don't have to accomplish or step into the spotlight when you are still feeling this way. Something within you will shift, and you're going to find the strength to do that. I feel like I'm going off on a tangent. So let me reel it back in. The passion that you feel about certain things is a major gift of yours. There are certain issues and certain topics that you cannot back down from. I think that this is what draws a lot of you out into the spotlight, even if you did feel a little bit reluctant to go there, because it's like under certain circumstances, you wouldn't put yourself in certain situations. But when it's around something that you feel so passionate about, you are able to find the strength and the courage to step out and do that. Like, I think for some of you, it might be like when it comes to coming to someone else's defense, you'll put yourself in a situation that you wouldn't have typically. Maybe you would have let something fly. Maybe if it was you, you would just let it slide. You would say, oh, well, it doesn't it doesn't bother me, whatever. But then you see somebody else maybe being taken advantage of, or someone else not being treated fairly in some way, and you will go out on a limb. You will stand up for that person. You will find the courage to do what it takes. And this could be about so many different things. It doesn't have to be about coming to someone's defense necessarily, but it could also be about pursuing a passion that it's like it takes over. It's like the force of that passion is so strong that typically you wouldn't have done whatever. Like maybe typically you wouldn't have shared this gift with someone, but you can't help it because the passion is so strong. Or typically you wouldn't have gotten up on that stage and performed in some way, but you can't help it. It's almost like the thing itself kind of takes over, and that's where you're finding the strength. You find the strength through this thing that you feel so passionate about. I think that people look at you as a survivor, as a fighter, and as an innovative thinker. You're someone who always has the strength to rise again, no matter what. This is one of your biggest gifts, is that you always see options where other people would just feel defeated. You're ready to rise again, and other people would stay down is kind of how I want to put it. It's not that you wouldn't have ever been knocked down. We have the Tower here, so I can see that things have changed in your life, maybe unexpectedly. There have been some things that kind of knocked you off your feet, but what you do best is get back up, and that's what other people are able to do. So those around you really admire that about you. You can get back on your feet, kind of no matter what comes your way. Yeah, I think that you're always able to kind of tap back into the truth that the choice to build the life that you want, or just to build the way that you want to, is how I want to put it. That choice is yours. That's the part that's missing for other people. Like if the tower came crashing down and the realization was the foundation wasn't sound, the foundation was shaky, and that's why this happened, you're able to tap back into the ability to say, well, I want to rebuild that tower the way that I wanted it. It didn't work out however it was situated, but I would like to try something new now. I want to get back on my feet and do that. Whereas other people would just say, well, the tower collapsed and that's the end of the story. You tap back into that choice. I think most people kind of accept what they've been given and work within the confines of what is immediately obvious to them. But you aren't afraid to look beyond the obvious and summon the courage to push some of those boundaries. I feel like for many of you, there's a feeling of like breaking chains or being the first to do something in your family or in your circle of friends. What you might not realize is that you aren't only the first to do this thing, to take this step, but you're actually the first person who thought it was possible. And this is your gift. This is a huge one. This is something you don't realize about yourself. If you're the first, let's say you're the first person in your family to like go to school and earn a degree, or the first person to take some kind of big leap, some kind of big risk. Maybe you're the first one who moved far away from home, who thought outside of the box of the town that you grew up in, or something like that. It's not just that you had the courage to step out and do this thing. You actually had the belief in yourself that you could accomplish whatever it was that you set out to do. And what holds a lot of the people around you back is that they've never had that belief. They've never had that kind of strength and the ability to be able to like trust themselves and depend on themselves the way that you do. So this is a huge gift of yours. And because you aren't really aware of this information. A lot of, like, I think for a lot of you, you don't realize that people around you are very fearful and that they act out of fear a lot, and that you are the type of person that's acting out of courage. You're not aware of that, so you don't realize that about yourself. In that way, that gift is hidden from you because you don't realize the importance of it. You don't know what it would be like to be lacking in that area, because you are so good at this. And I think that for some of you, even if you have felt very fearful, it's like you feel that fear and you push through and you do whatever the thing is anyway. And that's the difference between you and the people around you. You will do it anyway. You will find the courage anyway, even if it really scares you to death. You will find a way to accomplish what you need to. I think as much as you might get in your own head about stuff or feel that fear, you're so talented when it comes to pushing through the confusion or pushing that fear down and finding a way where other people don't see a way. So it's that mental strength that's so impressive. This really does feel to me like mental strength and determination. Really, for you, what I feel like is like the world is your oyster. That's what I want to say to you. You have so many options available to you because of all of these gifts. You can really go in whatever direction you want to go because there's so much behind you. There's so much power behind you. There's so much backing you up. For some of you, there's been a weight. It's like you felt this calling or this sense that there was something really important you needed to do with your life, or it feels like it's taking a while for you to figure out exactly what this thing is. But you aren't giving up, even though you've been in this state of confusion. And you're not afraid either to invest time and effort and kind of like over the long haul, where most people would throw in the towel and settle for a mediocre life. That's like not the energy I'm getting from you at all. With the Seven of Coins, if it is something that will take a long time to achieve, you're willing to put in the work. You'll wait to see the fruits of your labor. You're not interested in like getting instant gratification, although that would be great. If it requires more determination, then you've got it. That is certainly a gift that you have. The gift of determination beyond anything. I feel like this is beyond what is like typical for you in your circle of friends or in your family. Your determination is like no other. It's what I want to say. I think that your special gifts and talents were really meant to shine with that star card. So for some of you, you almost have a celebrity status about you because of your leadership qualities, or it might really be that you are like really gifted at acting or some kind of performance. I feel like for a lot of you, this might be something that has taken you a long time to perfect, or something that you think is going to take you a long time to perfect, but it's like you've been working quietly by yourself before you want to release it to the world. It's like a writer who's writing a novel or writing a screenplay or something, and they kind of lock themselves away for a while during the creation process, but when they emerge, they have this masterpiece under their belt. I feel like that might in a way be a metaphor for your entire life. It's like there were rocky times for sure. There's a tower here. There were rocky times for sure, but you always emerge as a masterpiece. You always emerge as the star. And I think that people flock to you. There's something that's so attractive about you. There's something that's so magnetic about you. And people really flock to you. They are attracted to your strength. They're attracted to your talent. For a lot of you, this talent is something you know about. It's something that like you have no doubt what I'm talking about, because it's very particular. Like you are an incredible writer, singer, piano player, whatever it might be, painter, graphic designer, mechanic, whatever, but you know what it is. Like, you know exactly what your gift was, and you were meant to rise to the top when it comes to this thing. You were meant to be the best of the best. You were meant to be an example, maybe even to be a teacher, because you know, like, whatever this thing is, you know how to do it. You are the best at it, and I think people would they would pay, they would travel long distances to be advised by you. This might not be the stage that you're at in your life right now, but I think for a lot of you, this is where you're headed, because you're headed to really a masterful state with this. So being at the absolute top of your game. Let's, oh, sorry, hit the table. Let's look at your oracle cards and see what else we can figure out. So we have the sun. This is number one in this deck. Yeah, the sun and the star. And we have rest and rejuvenation, number 19. Okay. It's like I was saying, people flock to you. This is a gift, and it might not immediately come through as like a gift, but you know, some people are not this attractive, and I don't just mean physically, although that is definitely coming through for you. There's something so magnetic about you, and that's a special gift. You have the ability to influence people. You have the ability to step into a leadership position, even if you have no intention of doing it. You lead by being so talented. You lead by being so gifted. But yeah, it's almost like life revolves around you the way that it revolves around the sun. And again, it's not like you think this of yourself. Like, you are not that self-centered, but that's how other people feel about you. Like, you're a key component in whatever is going on. You're kind of that central force in whatever's going on. So just like we depend on the sun to light the way, to warm us, to nourish us, this is kind of the role you play in a lot of areas of your life. You have the ability to be that central figure, and you're strong enough to play that role. Not everybody is. This sun card also speaks to an abundance of creativity flowing through you. I think the fact that you are so creative and also so hardworking, that's your winning combo. Because you're naturally gifted. This is what makes you unbeatable and unstoppable. You will use those natural giftings, these talents, but you'll also put the work behind it. And that's something that a lot of people aren't willing to do, especially if they are naturally gifted in an area. They will often think that they don't have room for improvement, but it's like you can always see how you can get even better, and you were already starting out at such a high level. But this really makes it like, it's impossible to compete with you. It's really impossible because you are so talented and so gifted and so hardworking. Yeah, you have the ability to pair your natural giftings with a really impressive work ethic. So then you have this rest and rejuvenation card come out, and that's really a message for you to trust. Trust those natural giftings. Now, I could also read this kind of as like, we were just talking about this hardworking nature of yours, and there might be a need for you to kind of rest a little bit, to take the time that you need to rejuvenate if you are going really hard and working really hard at whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. But initially, the way that I'm looking at this is kind of just a message from your guides, because what's coming through for you is your guides want you to know how gifted you are, like how incredibly talented and gifted you are. The amount of powerful energy that came through through all of these major arcana cards really shows me that 4 out of 5 major arcana, like it's no joke. So there is kind of this feeling like, if you're doubting any of that, if you're doubting your talent and you're doubting your skills, your ability, to really kind of find a place of rest with that, fall back on it, rely on it, trust that that's there for you, trust that you really are that good. You're so naturally talented that you never really have to worry if you're good enough or if you have enough to offer, but this could be the type of thing that you find yourself thinking about a lot. So the message here is, relax. Absolutely relax and realize that you are that good. Whatever it is that you're working on, you are good enough. You do have what it takes. You have, in fact, more than what it takes. But because you are willing to work, it's like you always see where you could improve, which is not a bad thing. That's a beautiful thing. But if it gets to the point of stress, then yeah, there is a message here to kind of trust it and relax a little bit. Let's look at your last two oracle cards. So we have number 6, the sacral chakra. And we have number 2, the third eye chakra. So interesting that you had 2 chakra cards come out in this deck, because I mean, there's only 7. Yeah, okay, so with this sacral chakra here, this again, this is coming through a couple different ways. First of all, this is reiteration of the fact that people are so incredibly attracted to you. And we could already tell that. You have the star, the sun, and the sacral chakra. So it's like people are very, very drawn to you, very attracted to you, all eyes on you all the time. Even if you don't like that, this has to do with your physical appearance. It also has to do with your gifts and abilities, whatever it is that you're doing, putting out into the world. And I feel like for a lot of you, this is no matter what it is. It's like everything you touch. I want to say everything you touch turns to gold, and then I'm going to start singing Midas touch. So maybe we shouldn't do that. But it's like it doesn't necessarily have to be a particular thing, although for a lot of you, I do think it is a particular thing that you are really gifted at. But it's like, it doesn't have to be. It's almost that anything you do is going to kind of like shine the spotlight on you. You're going to excel at it, and it makes people be very drawn to you. It makes all the attention be on you, which for some of you can be uncomfortable some of the time. But yeah, there's more than just physical attraction. And this is also another sign of your passion, the passionate nature that you have, in this very driven nature that you have. This is all kind of tapping into that energy, and it's really showing that that passion is what propels you. That passion is kind of the wind in your sails in a way. Then we have this third eye chakra. So I am kind of picking up that there is kind of a balanced energy about you. Just the fact that these 2 cards came out and it's just drawing my attention to the entire chakra system. Like just thinking about the fact that these 2 cards came out for you. So yeah, there is something here about balancing out those energies, kind of making sure everything is in alignment. This might be something that you do and something that you're naturally gifted at. Making sure that energy is flowing correctly within your physical body, and maybe even for other people. Reiki is coming to mind. So some of you might be gifted when it comes to giving Reiki to other people, even from a distance. But you also have the ability to see that the obstacles in your life, the things you've been through, have shaped you and they've strengthened you. And that ultimately all of this was for your higher purpose. You really have a lot of clarity when it comes to that. I think there's a deep spiritual connection for a lot of you. And for those of you who haven't really tapped into that yet and maybe wouldn't consider yourself a very spiritual person, I think that this is probably true for you, because we are looking at hidden gifts and talents. And this might be something that you are particularly gifted at, but that has been kind of hidden or obscured from your own vision. Like you might not see yourself as a very spiritual person, but you are. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. That's kind of a lot to deal with. There's a lot here. There's a lot of really strong energy here. So yeah, really beautiful. You were made for the spotlight, and I do feel like, and just innately, a lot of you know that. Even if you tend to shy away from it, you kind of know that. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. If you liked this video, if any of this resonated with you, please leave me a comment down below and let me know, what is this special gifting that you feel like you have, or in what way are people like attracted to you? And maybe like it could be overwhelming for some of you. So I'd love to hear that too, because I was picking up on that energy. So if it's like you feel like that spotlight is on you all the time, and sometimes it's uncomfortable for you. I would love to hear about that in the comments. Don't forget to like the video if it resonated, and hit that subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this. And I will see you in another reading really soon. Bye. Hi, number 4, if you picked this image, this is going to be your reading. We are going to find out what some of your hidden gifts and talents are. So let's jump right into the tarot and see what messages come out for you. What are number 4's hidden gifts and talents? We have the 4 of Coins, the Lovers. I'm loving the symmetry here with this 4 and the 6. So I don't know why that's standing out to me, but it is, like with the Roman numerals. So it's, the numbers are kind of mirrored. That might play in some way. Oh, I dropped your card. We have the Devil. I think I already see the tie-in. Let's see what else we got for you. We have the Knight of Wands and one more card. The 3 of Swords in reverse. Okay. Let's look at this. So it's really interesting that the Devil came out right after the Lovers. For those of you that are familiar with the traditional like Rider-Waite-Smith imagery, you'll know that these cards are kind of like they're kind of, the imagery on the cards is very similar. It actually depicts 2 sides of the same coin, you could say. So the same 2 male and female will be depicted in both of those cards, just under like slightly different circumstances. So in one card, the Lovers, it kind of shows the lighter aspect of the situation and talks about choice, about love, and about union. And then the other, the Devil, it can be viewed as depicting like the darker aspects of the same scenario, and talking about things like addiction or temptation. And these cards show up right next to each other, kind of mirroring each other in that way, because in my mind these are always connected. And then I was talking about these Roman numerals kind of mirroring each other. So that might be something. There might be something there about some kind of mirroring or reflecting that you are able to do. You might actually be the type of person that holds a mirror up to others. You might help people to see things that they couldn't. That could be something. I'm gonna leave that kind of in the back of my mind, because there is something here that is definitely coming through for you. With these 2 cards showing up together, though, I think that you're gifted when it comes to seeing both sides of any situation. You know that no situation is inherently good or bad. And just like with the Lovers card and the Devil's card, like there are, of course, lighter and darker aspects to each of these cards. Even the Devil card, it's not all bad. It's not all dark. And it also depends on what scenario it's showing up in. But there are a lot of messages to be taken away from these cards that aren't maybe immediately obvious. So I think that with you, you're not someone who is fooled easily. You're not fooled by what's on the surface and how something may appear at first. You can really see the truth of it. You can get to the heart of the matter. I think also you're not like seduced by the flashy, is kind of how I want to put it. Like you're not seduced by the flashy, and you're not too afraid to look in the shadows. You find a way to walk the middle road, and to find something in the middle that makes sense, find something that is true. I feel like this message of truth was coming through for one of the other readings. I think it was reading 2. So if you did feel called, am I right? I think it was. If you did feel called to pile number 2, you might want to check that out, because this kind of theme of truth was present there, and I think that that's here for you as well. Seeing the truth in the matter, like seeing the reality, looking beyond the surface. And I think that what this makes me see also is that you're someone who's very deep, very deep. Like your thought process goes beyond most people's, and your mind will venture into areas that most people are afraid to go. I feel like you keep a lot of these thoughts to yourself, and that's mostly because you're pretty sure that no one else would understand. I think there's a lot that goes on in your head, or a lot of things that you see, that you just know other people aren't going to get, or you have a strong feeling that other people won't get it. They won't understand, and they won't understand you. I think that's because a lot of people bring they bring a ton of prejudice to any situation. Like they have already decided what they think about it before they've gotten all of the information. It's hard for them to take a step back and to see things for what they really are. But the truth never really escapes you. Like you're always able to see past the surface. Like they say don't judge a book by its cover. I think that could be something like you live by that. You would never, you don't judge any situation by what's on the outside. You want more facts, you want more information, you want to feel into what's really going on there and kind of get to the heart of it, get to the truth of it. You're really, really good at mediating situations. So, people come to you for help resolving arguments or disagreements because you can kind of sift through the mess, like we were talking about. You can sift through all of that mess, and you can do this without taking sides. You can find the middle ground, and you can find that solution. That's a skill that most people don't have. And I think you're able to kind of bring that to all areas of your life, even areas where you feel really close to the topic. You feel very invested in whatever the situation is. You can still manage to find kind of you can look at the other side. You can find the other side where most people can't do that. They can only see their side. They can only see from their perspective. You can see from many different perspectives. I think that's there's part of you that keeps your gifts and talents hidden from the world. And this is the second time I've had that feeling. So I do think that a lot of this that you are naturally gifted at, they are things you're aware of, but not necessarily things that you want to make other people aware of. You might be afraid of being judged, or you might not trust your gifts sometimes. You might kind of downplay your gifts. What's jumping out to me most is that you're really gifted when it comes to using the heartbreak or the loss that you faced in your life as a catalyst for self-improvement. So your life experiences have given you the ability to, again, sift through. It's a repetitive thing in this reading, sift through. You might be very analytical and just very good at going through the fine details of things, because it just keeps coming out of my mouth, sift through. So you can kind of find the lesson in any situation. You can find the challenge. You can find maybe even the bright spot of a situation that didn't seem that bright. I do, though, feel like you might be a little bit timid about expressing your talents and your opinions, and that's okay, because this is a journey, and we're moving to a place, whatever that is for each individual person. So you're in the process of moving to this place where you can feel completely comfortable and at home, and a place where you can see how valuable you are. So sometimes you can come across as a little bit reserved. I feel like um this is definitely an aspect of your personality, but really what I get from you is that you're quite bold. So it's funny that you do kind of come across as reserved at times. You're very bold. With this Knight of Wands, I think that you're willing to kind of venture into unknown territories a lot of the time. I think you're particularly gifted at doing this not only in thought, but also in your actions. So you're willing to kind of go for things full force when you know they're right and when you've evaluated the situation. So that might be why you can come across as timid, because you do have this analytical side of you. And the side of you that's like really good at processing data. That's what I want to say. Like, having a lot of inputs and being able to make sense out of all of it. That's another gift of yours, but that might be why you can come across as timid, because you will kind of take your time to make sure. You'll take your time to evaluate and to get all the facts in order. But at the same time, you have this boldness about you. You have this fearlessness that will send you into unknown territories in pursuit of something. It could be in pursuit of passion or yeah, I don't know what it is for you. Let's look at this. Because I know there is a boldness. And I think that that's something that like even people close to you might not be aware of. Because you do hold a lot of this in. There's a passion that you can't ignore. There's something really fiery and explosive. And it's interesting because there's also a very thoughtful and a very contemplative energy that comes from you. But behind that, there's something very fiery and explosive. This could have to do with your astrological chart. You might be like an earth sun sign and a fire moon or something like that. So you really have the gift of direction and of being so deeply connected to source that your steps are always guided. I think that's where this boldness comes from. You kind of know you can go boldly where no one else is gone because you have this deep connection that is, it's a safety net for you. It's a map in a lot of ways too. It's not just a safety net in case you get lost. It's almost a guarantee that you will not get lost. And your commitment and enthusiasm, that enthusiasm when it comes to your purpose is very rare. Like that's not something that shows up in a lot of people. A lot of people can't maintain that kind of enthusiastic nature through it all. And I feel like this is something you're really gifted at, just maintaining that drive and that ambition. Let's look at your oracle cards. I want to see what else I can pull from this because I do feel like there's a little something here that I wasn't really able to put into words. And I want to see if I can pick up on that. So let's look at these two oracle cards. So we have first chakra. This is Archangel Michael, number 35. And we have cornucopia, number 11. Okay. So dealing with a master number here, 11, this number might be significant to you. You might see 111, 1111, ones everywhere. That could be really significant to you. I think that there might be some sort of process of awakening that has taken place with you. Because 1111 is always like an awakening number to me, and I think that that might be significant to you in some way. And this could be the energy that I was picking up on, because there is like this contemplative energy, and then there's this fiery energy, and maybe that period of contemplation was this process of awakening. For some of you, you might still be in that process, but I feel like you're going to be enlightened, and you're going to awaken to a level that isn't typical. And this is one of your gifts. It's to soar higher in that way. It's to tap into these more spiritual gifts and spiritual realms in a way that other people don't typically do. There's something out of the ordinary about this. With this chakra card, this Archangel Michael card, this is really, it just is telling me you bring a sense of stability to any situation that you're in. And this, again, it kind of, it takes me back to this image of the lovers and the devil, like being two sides of the same coin. Like there's a balance there. There's a balanced approach to what you're doing. There's a sense of stability. And I think you lead with this sense of stability, but there is also this really passionate, fiery thing that's like beneath the surface, ready to just burst forth at any moment. And maybe this is something that you do from time to time. But I love that it seems like you lead with this stability. So those around you can really depend on you. You're very dependable. You're very kind-hearted. There's a groundedness about you. And there's this way of creating something that's stable and something that you can count on, and also chasing your dreams at the same time, kind of being grounded and reaching high to higher heights at the same time. That is a gift. That is a skill. Most people can't do that. As cornucopia is a card of manifestation and of abundance. So I think that you have what it takes to manifest this strong vision that you have. I think you know this. I like when this happens because it'll really it'll catch my attention. So this Knight of Wands is fiery energy that's really talking a lot about your passion, and then we have this card of abundance that came out right underneath it. So yeah, there's this feeling that your passions really drive you to a state of abundance. It's like you can kind of you can depend on, and which we were talking about with this first chakra, you can kind of depend on your passion to lead you to a place of abundance. So this makes me think of a really intuitive person, and this is probably one of your gifts, like the gift of really strong intuition and kind of knowing where you need to go, where you need to be through this intuitive nature, coming from this very intuitive place. Yeah. There's still something. Let's look at your last oracle cards and see what we have. So we have hero number 29 and root chakra number 7. So this is the same. The first chakra, the root chakra, it came out twice. So and the Four of Coins too. There is this feeling of absolute stability with you. And that, I guess it will manifest in many different ways, because I'm not really nailing down exactly how this displays in you, but I think this is the missing piece. There's something so firm, so stable, so dependable about you. And this is something that you are just naturally talented at. Probably something that, like a lot of the gifts that show up in these readings, are things that I can sense they'd be downplayed. You're downplaying them. You don't think that that's a gift. You don't think that that's a talent, but it really is. If you talk to the people close to you, you'll find that this is something they really value in you, because not everybody can do that. Some people are really flighty. Some people can't keep their word about anything. Some people can't show up when they say they're going to, and you manage to do that. I love this hero card because it's about feeling protected and safe. And I think that this is something that you've cultivated in yourself, and it extends to others. I think that there's something that you have kind of been able to accomplish in your life that brings you this sense of stability. And I think it's something that you did have to find in yourself. And it probably started with this balanced approach to thought and this way to see both sides of things. Also, we have this Three of Swords here. So the Three of Swords, I like that it came out in reverse, because it shows me that there's some healing that's happened here for you. There's a lot that you've moved past, but I think that for a lot of you, finding stability was maybe something that you struggled to find outside of you. So that could be in relationships, in romantic partnerships, or in your family, where it's just like you weren't able to feel like you had that solid place to land. And there was a part of you, I think, that wanted to cling to like wanted to cling to this idea of something that like you weren't able to accomplish, but it looks like something that you've turned around and been able to cultivate for yourself. Like there is a part of you that has learned that you couldn't depend on somebody for your happiness. This could be a particular person, or it could be that you learned that you really can't depend on anyone. Um, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that you've really found the inner strength to always like create a situation where you know you can fall back on yourself, to kind of show up as the hero for yourself in a lot of ways. And that's put you in the position to be that that savior kind of figure, and that hero to other people. So for some of you, this is really important. I also am now being drawn to the fact that you chose this Wheel of Fortune, the image on the Wheel of Fortune card. So this is kind of telling me that like this has been part of your life's path. This has been part of your destiny to like to find this stability and to cultivate the stability, to find your place in the world. Because I think a lot of the like this root chakra energy is really about finding our place in the world, and about knowing and accepting that we have the right to be here, and that our passion kind of springs forth from this connection that we have to the earth itself. And with this cornucopia, I mean, look at this imagery. This is like so much abundance here. And it's really giving me earth energy too. Yeah. I feel like pulling some more cards for you, which I haven't done in the other readings. So it's something a little bit different, but there's just something here, and I don't like to leave any stone unturned. And I kind of feel like that could be the case here. So let's see. We have the 9 of Swords and the 7 of Coins. The 7 of Coins actually showed up in another reading, maybe the last reading. So yeah, there's some here like a lot of the work that you've done is so apparent, and I think that it's something that you aren't giving yourself credit for. Like, you might not see that the work that you've done to overcome so many obstacles in your life is a gift of yours, that you're extremely talented when it comes to that. And there is a feeling of perseverance with this 7 of Coins. There's a feeling of waiting to reap the rewards and being patient. This is something you're really, really talented at. Exercising that patience and that ability to analyze situations for everything that they are, like not just prejudging the situation and not really taking in the facts. You're very gifted when it comes to taking in the facts. I'm gonna pull another card for you. I feel a little bit bad because the other readings, your readings didn't go like this. Okay, we have the Knight of Coins in reverse. Yeah, there's definitely a feeling of like waiting for these gifts to come in. I think that that's what this was about. I think that's why this energy was maybe a little bit difficult for me to pick up on. I think that your gifts and abilities have almost been elusive to you, and that this reading might be really important in helping you realize exactly what's been going on, because it feels a little bit hard to nail down. I think that this is something you struggled with, and maybe something that was hard for you to like make movement on. I like that the Knight of Coins showed up in reverse, because the Knight is the slowest moving knight, but when he's in reverse, we can look at this as energy that can move a little bit faster than it would have. I still don't think this is fast energy. I think this is something that you waited a little while to reap these rewards, but I can see that energy is lifting. I think the reason this energy is hard to pick up on is because you might be in the process of discovering all of this, and at times it might feel like it's really challenging, or like it's really frustrating to you. But just know that your ability to to analyze, to sift through information, to make sense of information, and to follow your passions is what's going to help you a lot. And this grounded nature, this stability, I think this is something that's very beneficial to not only you but to others. You really create a sense of stability for everyone around you, and this might be your main driving force. I am like, we had a lot of coins cards come out here, so if there's like a feeling of financial instability that has kind of worried you or plagued you, this is a sign that you have the gift of abundance, of drawing abundance into your life. Hero cornucopia, and this feeling of being grounded. There is kind of the sense that you are really gifted. This might even be about kind of breaking some chains here, like overcoming obstacles that have been present for a really long time and kind of becoming that hero, becoming that person who can finally move the wheel. Like, I think this is why you were drawn to this, because I think that things are starting to finally move for you in the direction that you've been looking for. And I think that this for a lot of you could have to do with family issues as well, something that has not been present in your family for generations, and you're going to be that person that's going to bring in this abundance. You're going to be looked at as like kind of the hero. This is really interesting energy. I get the feeling that you're putting a lot of heartbreak behind you, and that you are moving forward with a lot of energy. It's like you're moving out of that earth energy into a fiery energy. And I think for a lot of you, you're in the process of this. And maybe the discovery of some of these gifts and talents are going to help you to reach that level. So yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there. There's a lot of messages here, but also there's a lot in the works for you. So you actually kind of made me want to do another reading, like to kind of tap back into this energy and see where you are, because I think there's so much coming for you that you haven't even seen yet. There's so much that you're going to realize about these gifts that you have, and about this this ability for you to kind of walk that middle line, because that's standing out to me as your biggest gift. That you can see both sides. You don't see things as all rainbows and unicorns, or just all darkness and defeat. You can really find that middle ground and stay grounded while you're doing all of that. So definitely a gift, definitely talented when it comes to that. So I think I'll leave the reading here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, letting me read your cards. If you enjoyed this reading, if any of it resonated with you, don't forget to like the video, leave me a comment down below, and subscribe if you feel like it, so I can make more videos like this. And I will see you in another one really soon. Bye. Hi, number 5, if you picked this image, this is going to be your reading. We're going to find out all about your hidden gifts and talents. So let's jump into some tarot and see what messages come through for you. What are number 5's hidden gifts and talents? And of course, we have the card come right out. That's been the theme today, so we'll go with it. And the 3 of Wands. Let's see what else. The King of Coins. Oh, okay. I am already picking up on like a really I shouldn't even speak until I give all your cards out. There's a really strong I almost want to call it like a boss energy coming through for you right away. But let's look at your cards before I start running my mouth. Let's find out. Let's find out. Number 5's gifts and abilities, talents. Okay. For the 8 of Wands in reverse. the Page of Swords in reverse. Let's get one more card. That's interesting. And we have the Fool in reverse. Okay, so all reversals for your last 3 cards. Okay. Let's talk about kind of the obvious. The first thing that I see is that you are really a visionary and really a planner. I don't know if a lot of you will see yourself as a planner in the traditional sense, because a lot of times we view people who plan as people who are very organized. And if you don't kind of identify with this idea of being super organized, then this probably won't resonate for you. If you do know that about yourself, then it definitely will. But I will say that you don't really have to be organized to be a planner, because this is coming through more in terms of vision and of it's like having sight into the future and making a plan for the future based on what you saw. So yeah, that you don't have to be super organized or want to lay everything out like in a very strategic manner, but that could definitely be something that you do resonate with. When I say that you are a planner, I actually want to say like this is next level planning and strategy. So if you're not really resonating with this idea of being organized, this is another reason that I don't think it really has to be that, because next level means out of the ordinary. So whatever you typically see happening in this realm, it might not apply to the situation. It might not be down to like writing down every detail. It might not be that for you, but this is next level on in some way. It's almost like you just have so much sight and so much vision into the future that this is something very unique about you. I think that you're the type of person that if someone wants to know how to get something done, you're the person that will figure it out. However that is for you, because even if you don't have this like very clean or organized way of being able to figure it out, it doesn't matter. You arrive at the answer and you'll have everything laid out step by step in your own unique way, whether that's through extreme organization or not. I do think a lot of you probably really are extremely organized and can really compile a lot of information and kind of like make a full plan, like make a step-by-step plan that other people can follow. I think in a lot of ways for many of you, it's almost like you can predict the future. Now, this could be very literal. Like you may have had times when you felt like you might be psychic, like you have some kind of psychic ability where you felt like you predicted something in such a way that it actually shocked you, that like you were so surprised and you were like, hey, I said that was going to happen. Do you remember I said that was going to happen? You know, and like, I think for others of you, you've gotten used to this idea that you can like sometimes literally predict the future. And you just kind of own this. Like you just like, well, I predict things sometimes, or I'm a little bit psychic, or I'm a lot psychic. But I think that this really shows up in different ways because, in a way, it's like your gift when it comes to planning things have a lot to do with your ability to see how things will play out. So it's almost like you are looking out into the future. Like if we look at this card, this person or fairy is like looking out into the future, like seeing what is to come. And that can be interpreted different ways, because that can be seeing what's to come in terms of being able to plan and prepare for it. And it can also be like literally predicting the future, but I think that it really helps you um, to be able to be this good planner and to be able to put things into place that make sense, because you are able to almost go out into the future and see, this is how the situation will play out, and this is what I need to do to be prepared for it. So this is definitely a gift, because that's not something that everyone can do. And if you found yourself in the position of like being someone who can put things in order so that other people can understand, or people are always telling you like you thought of everything, you thought of every detail, and like to you it's just normal that of course you would just plan it out like that. It doesn't come naturally to everyone to do that, because not everyone can see every possibility, every eventuality. That's not something that is apparent to everyone. And I think this does come with a lot of like thought and contemplation, but it also comes very naturally to you. Just to be able to kind of keep all that in your head at the same time, and to pull from the future the way that you do. I wish that I had better words to kind of put to this image that's in my head, because I'm almost imagining somebody that's like almost lassoed something out in the distance, and they're now reeling it in, like pulling a rope in, and reeling that closer. So it's almost like you go to this place where you can do that. You can kind of harness future events, reel them in and pull them in closer to you, where you can like see them as if they're playing out right now, and then you can move forward with your planning or laying out your approach based on knowing what's going to happen. And yeah, I think for some of you, you have identified this as a psychic ability. For others, you wouldn't necessarily classify it as that, but there is an element of that. There's an element of prediction. I think you think it's more practical than it is. With this King of Coins energy, there is a practicality to you. So if you are operating in some sort of mystical way, if you're using some kind of psychic ability, this might be lost on you sometimes, because you are so practical that you might not really see it this way. You might not realize that you're using this special gift that you have to be such a thorough planner, or to be somebody who can kind of like see how things are going to play out. You might not realize that you're really using a spiritual gift, that you're tapping into a gift when you're doing that, because it all just seems so practical. It just seems like, well, of course I would plan, for this to happen. That's the responsible thing to do. But it's really, you're accessing something that's not readily available to everyone when you're doing that. I think it really helps you to lay solid plans, because you account for every possibility. I love your energy, because what's happening here, as I see it, like laying out, there's a really mystical, spiritual side of you, and then there's also a very grounded earth focused part. And I think that for a lot of you, you might stay more in that earth focused part, at least what you're consciously aware of. You think you're doing all of this to be very practical, but really you're using such mystical abilities to bring this practicality to life. So really opposing forces, but I love the way they're playing together. This is something very unique about you. I think when it comes to like organizing a trip, or like dreaming of all the different possibilities or something like that, you really excel when it comes to this. Because I think at your heart, you're a dreamer. There's a really dreamy quality, and also that groundedness. So it's like you have a way of gathering up all of that mystical energy, all that stuff that can't be named. It's like sort of intangible. You can gather all that up. I want to call it elusive fairy dust. That's what it feels like to me. You can gather up all of the elusive fairy dust, and you can ground it down into a solid reality. And that is something that you don't give yourself credit for. In these readings, a lot of these talents and gifts are coming through as things that you're not recognizing about yourself. Something that you think is so mundane, something that you think is so typical and everyone can do it and anyone would see it this way. And it's actually not like that at all. It's actually something that's very special and unique about you, and something that you bring to any situation, like any interaction you have with your friends or your family or anything like that. You're bringing these special qualities to that scenario, and it's something that people look to you for. Like they know that you're going to provide that, and they know that they can't do what you do, so they might really be looking to you to, like, can you help me plan this? Can you help me see this? Can you help me think about this in a different way? Because that kind of goes hand in hand with this. You're a dreamer. You think big. You think big picture, and then you figure out how you can bring that big picture down into 3D reality. That's manifestation, and a lot of what's come through for in these piles has to do with manifestation. If in your case, I can see the particular way that you do it. You dream really big, and then you also have the ability to get, it's like you go macro and you can go micro, if that makes any sense. Like, you dream on a large scale, and then you have the ability to hone in on the details and to get practical about it and to get actionable about it. And that's a beautiful combination. So I can tell that even if you haven't been able to really hone these manifestation skills, they're there for you. Like, the ability is there, because you can bridge that gap. When that's where a lot of people lose it. Like, some people are so focused on the details that they can't dream, and other people are so big picture that they can never really get anything accomplished. They can't like do the actions that it will take to reach that big idea. You can do both. It's a really beautiful balance. So there is kind of a leadership quality and a provider quality coming through with this King of Coins as well. Also, you were drawn to this Sky Father. So this is kind of that same energy. Kind of that leadership energy, that father energy, that provider energy. I think that you really have a tendency to lead by example, and you're abundant. Like, the King of Coins is very abundant. He has his stuff in order. And he wants to provide. Like, one of his main driving forces is the want to provide for those around him. So you're also a very giving person, a very nurturing person. And you do a lot of what you do with the idea of sharing with others in mind, which is very admirable. It's something that people love about you. This could be something that you feel sometimes can, like, you can get taken advantage of, because you have such a kind and giving heart, and because you literally, like, accumulate resources to help people. Some people will take advantage of that, but I feel like it doesn't jade you. Like you know where your heart is, you know what the plan is, and you're gonna stick with it. I love that energy. Moving into the rest of these cards, there's this feeling that you really don't rush things, and that you actually pay attention to details. You have the Eight of Wands show up in reverse. In many other contexts, this would, to me, mean like absolute stagnation, and I don't see it this way. In this case, you have the Eight of Wands in reverse, you have the Page of Swords in reverse, and you have the Fool in reverse. So there is this feeling that you don't rush and jump into things. You're someone who has enough patience to do things right the first time. Like, you want to make sure that things are accomplished the way that they should be, in the correct order, and of the right quality. This is another thing. I think there's like a almost a meticulous nature to the way you do things. Like, everything that you do is of high quality. You really think things through before you speak and before you act. And so the reason that I don't read these cards as absolute stagnation is because I'm drawn back over here to this Three of Wands, and this is you in the planning phase, and this King of Coins is you in the realization of that plan. And I think this is the main way that you work. So not rushing things, not jumping into things without having all the information, not saying things before you really know what you're talking about. That's why all of this, these are your gifts, these are talents that you have. You have the skill to hold yourself back until it's ready to act, or until you're ready to act, until it is ready to be acted on, we could say. So I know that this feeling of not rushing is really, it's you going into planning, it's you going into dreaming. A lot of you might be really talented when it comes to visualization. The Three of Wands always makes me think of that. Because the Three of Wands can really show somebody who's looking at something that is real, that is actual fact, that is in the physical world, standing out, on a cliff overlooking a body of water and looking at something that's real. But it also always takes me to a place of kind of like turning within as well. So it might not be that you're always looking at something that's playing out in the real world, in the 3D world. It could be that you are visualizing, that you're seeing in your mind's eye what will play out, what will happen. And this is something you're so gifted at that it's like you don't jump into things until you've seen that full picture. And once you have, you are able to convert that picture into something solid and something heavy, heavy enough to be grounded down into reality. And that's not something most people can do. Let's just be honest about that. Like, that's tricky. That is tricky. It's hard not to get lost all in the clouds. You have your head in the clouds all the time. So, Sky Father too. Yeah, you have the perfect combination of head in the clouds and practical action, and I love it. Let's look at your oracle cards and see what we have. Blossoming Abundance, number 3. Love that. That's perfect to come out under the King of Coins. And we have Magician and the Mirror, number 53. Yeah. This is all about manifestation. This is all about bringing abundance in. I think that in this particular case, this isn't really telling me that much about like your future or what abundance is going to flow into your life. It's more that I've already been shown exactly how you do it. I wouldn't be surprised if you've already found a lot of success in something that you're doing, or you're well on your way to having a lot of success, because I see your process and it is stellar. This is really good. This is a perfect process, and this is the perfect balance between having your feet on the ground and having your head in the clouds at the same time. So your manifestation method is on point. It's top notch. It's what I want to say. And also your attention to detail is top notch as well. So this blossoming abundance really is that King of Coins energy, and you're gifted when it comes to creating material abundance. You really are. It's not just that things will flow to you, it's that you know how to make that happen. If this isn't something you feel like you've figured out, this is something that is it's well on its way for you, because this process is good, and I can see here that it will result in abundance. I think the value that you have to offer to the world is another thing that I would put that top-notch label on. That's what makes all of this most important, because it's like, you're not just, I think this is how this abundance flows into your life, is what I'm saying. The value that you offer is worth it. Like, you're offering something in equal value to whatever someone like might want to pay you. This is something that people will they'll want to pay for. It's an energy exchange. They'll want to exchange energy to kind of tap into whatever this is that you do. Maybe just even your way, like your ability to plan things, your ability to have a vision about things, whatever that might be. I think this Magician in the Mirror, it really represents the culmination of your your personal and your spiritual power. And I think that's kind of the energy I was picking up on before, that groundedness and that spiritual ness at the same time, grounding down the spiritual into the material world. You are an alchemist. You're a natural alchemist. Wow. I'm so curious. I'm so curious if you know that, because this is really becoming quite clear to me, like how gifted you are in this realm of alchemy. I'm also being drawn to like threes all over your reading, and threes for me have been like a pretty significant number, and it's something I think if you've like seen 333 all the time or 33 all the time, this might be significant to some of you, because this is it's jumping out to me that you have a lot of threes in your reading. This is kind of a sign that you're on the right path, that you're connected to the ascended masters. This is always a symbol of that to me. And it just shows that you're on the right track. So that's a message for some of you. You might have been maybe doubting some of these abilities, or doubting if you're going to be able to bring something into the physical world that you've been dreaming of, but that would be confirmation. And I don't think you needed it, because you showed up as the King of Coins. The King of Coins knows how to ground down whatever he wants into the physical realm easily and masterfully. And I think that's your energy in a nutshell. So let's look at your last two oracle cards. We have Past, number 37, another 3, and Clearing, number 15. Okay, I think going back to that 3 of Wands energy and remembering what I was saying in the beginning of this reading, you are a visionary. So you have the ability to imagine a future that's really free from the restrictions of the past. And you can dream up a new story. You can forge a new path. This is something you're very gifted at. You can make a new way. I love the way this Past card looks, because as I was saying, free from the restrictions of the past. That's what this card looks like to me. It's like a bird breaking free, finally being able to like fly again. And I think this is something that you're gifted at. So you might be particularly gifted at reinventing yourself. You definitely aren't somebody who's held back for long when it comes to things that have gone not well for you, things that haven't panned out. You can reinvent yourself. You can dream up a new future. I think that this ability for you to imagine things and to see clearly out into the future, that feels a lot like you're predicting things, and in some cases you might be. I think that just lets you shed the past. Like, it just lets you move into a new place. And this is another form of manifestation. You can kind of manifest yourself to be a new version of yourself and to step into your power. And for a lot of you who already are identifying as this King of Coins, that's what you've done. Like, you've put stuff that didn't go right in your past in the past. You've left it there and you've reinvented yourself. So that's very beautiful energy. It's very powerful energy. It really brings my attention back to the Magician and the Mirror, because again, an alchemist has all the tools that they need. They give up the Magician card in the tarot. Like, that's kind of the image that's coming to my mind. The Magician has everything that they need to succeed. They have everything right at their fingertips. And to me, it's like, this is your gift. You have the gift of having all of the tools at your disposal. You have the gift of being a born alchemist. And it would be interesting to know how much of this you already know. For your group, I feel like you're very in touch with this. Even if there's a question in your mind, there's at least a question. I don't think you're completely oblivious to this. I think that you might have a lot of times felt like, I'm predicting the future. And in a way you are. And I think a lot of you might have psychic abilities. And also in a way, you are creating the future. And that's part of this this predictive quality that you're kind of picking up on. It at some times might not be so much that you're predicting what was going to happen. It's more that you're deciding. You're looking out into the future. You're kind of laying out the path for yourself, laying it out in advance, and then you're actually walking it, which is rare. And that will make you feel like you have predicted the future. But deciding and creating the future is the best way to predict it, I would say. So yeah, you've got a lot of skill and a lot of gifts when it comes to planning it out and then doing the plan and being really being very intentional about it. That's the best word to describe all of this energy here. All of these reversals. This is intentionality here. It's not failure to move. It's being intentional about how you move. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave your reading there. I loved this for real. I love just even the way that your cards came out, because it really showed me like it showed me who you are and who you're not, and it gave me a really beautiful picture of where you are right now. And I just love the fact that you're so gifted at shedding old skin. Like you will reinvent yourself. So I'm loving this energy. So if you like this reading, if it resonated with you, don't forget to leave me a comment down below and kind of tell me a little bit about what's going on here. Tell me if you have tapped into this this ability to predict the future, to plan out the future, and to do the plan, because this is really beautiful. And if you've been aware of this alchemist kind of like gifting that you have, I would love to hear about it. Don't forget to like the video and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and I will see you again really soon. Bye.